to my channel. Today I have a quick tutorial for you. I'm going to be showing you how I made a simple straight skirt without a waistband. It got a rope on it. I'll show you the rope. I just tied the rope at the side. That's the rope. So it's a simple straight skirt with a slit. It's got a slit here. I'll lower the camera so you can see the slit. Pardon the background, guys. Just want to show you the skirt. So you see, it got a slit at the side, and it's a very simple straight skirt. This was the fabric I used to make the blouse earlier on. So this is the skirt to go with the blouse. So it's a simple, straightforward straight skirt. Shall I call it pencil skirt? Simple, straight with rope on the waist. It got no waist band, so it just straight two-piece. That's the back. That's the side. The other side without the slit. This is the front. I know it's black, so it's quite difficult to see, but that's the front. And this is the side. This is the string to pull it to your waist. Pull it to your waist. When you pull it to your waist, you're tucking it in to hide it. Okay guys, stay tuned. Watch this video to the end so you can see how I made this simple beginner's straight skirt or pencil skirt. Okay guys, I'm going to be showing you the fabric we'll be needing for the straight skirt. It's a simple straight skirt with a slit at the side. Shall I call it a pencil skirt, but it has no waistband. It's going to be rope. So we're going to be using this black cotton, polycotton lining, and this fabric. This is the fabric I used for the blouse I made some days ago. So I'm going to make a straight, simple skirt with no waistband, with rope, and the slits at the side. Shall I say pencil skirt, straight skirt? This is also a beginner's course, a beginner's tutorial. Okay guys, let's start. So you also need your measurement tape, your scissors, straight ruler, this edge, hip curve ruler for your hip, and of course you need your measurement, and I will be telling you the measurement we need as we go along. Just get my chalk as well, because you need your chalk. So you need your chalk as well for this tutorial. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use the lining to cut the skirt first, because I don't want the chalk to show on the fabric. So what I have done here is I have folded the fabric, the lining, into 4, because remember, this skirt has no zip, it has no waistband, everything is cut together. It's going to be rope on the waist, so it has no waistband, it has no zip, but I got a side slit. Okay, so I have folded the fabric. I have folded the fabric into 4. I'll just show you so you can see. So that's 1, 2, and this one is into 2. I haven't cut it opened. So first thing first, we take the measurements, the length of the skirt. That's the first thing you need to do, is to take the length of the skirt. And in this case, the length of the skirt is 36. So I'll start with 36. Let me just mark it down first. 36. Because we are going to work down. Remember, it has no waistband. So I mark 36 down here. Now we are going to be putting rope, so we need to fold the edge. So we are going to practically be folding the edge, the ends here, which is the waist part. We are going to be folding it maybe 1.5 inch. So you need to add that 1.5 inch to your 36. So making it 37.5. So we also need a seam allowance to sew it at the bottom. You need a seam allowance. I'm just going to move the fabric up a bit. So you need a seam allowance to hem it at the bottom. So you need like 1 inch seam allowance to hem it at the bottom. So in total, that is going to be, so 1 inch, this is already 37.5. So if you had 1 inch, that would be 38.5. So here is the length plus 1.5 inch of sewing allowance for the waist to put the rope. So that gives us 37.5 plus 1 inch, so that's 38.5. Okay, so this is 38.5 here. So I'm just going to mark 38.5 all the way across from the top. From the top, that's going to be the waist over here. So I'm just going to mark 38.5. So I can take my ruler. I use the straight edge of my ruler here and just draw the line just to get straight 38.5. Just a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to cut the excess off. So this is the line I just drew. I'm just going to cut the excess off. So it's easy to work with. Okay, so I've cut the excess off. I'm going to use this part for the top section of the skirt, so I don't have to overlock it. So I'm going to be using this section. This is the selvage edge, so I don't have to overlock it. Okay, so now what we are going to do, because this skirt has no zip, no waistband, just rope. So it's a straight skirt, maybe pencil skirt, straight skirt, beginner's tutorial, without waistband, without zip. So I'm going to be using the hip measurement because I'm going to be putting rope. So by the time we pull the rope, when it's worn, it will fit the waist. So we are going to be using the hip measurement. So first thing first, you measure the person. You measure the person from their waist to their hip, where their hip length starts from. In this case, the hip starts from 7. So I'll start from 7. So this is 7 here. I just put this mark here because that's where the hip starts from. That's from the waist to the hip line. So now we are going to mark down the hip measurement on the waist. So we are working with the hip measurement all through this skirt. Apart from when we get down to the knee section, we have to minus 2 inches to make it a more fitting straight or pencil skirt. So the hip measurement is, let's look for it. Hip measurement is 47 divided by 4. I don't have my calculator today, so I'm going to just use my measurement tape. So 47, if you take your measurement tape, 47, come to 47 like this. And then I crease it Then I fold it again into 4. Oops. Let's do that again. So 47, the measurement tape. This is in case you don't have a calculator, it's faster. And then I press it again. Press it really hard. I'm pressing here. So I open it out. So that gives me 11.75. You can see it there. So I mark that down on here. Remember, I haven't put any sewing allowance. I'll just mark that all the way down to the end of the skirt. So I mark it all the way down to the end of the skirt. And then we'll connect all the lines later. So this tutorial is good for beginners if you are learning how to make a skirt without a waistband, without a zip, but you got a slit at the side slit. You can use this tutorial. If you don't understand it, just watch the video again and you will understand it. It's very simple, straightforward skirt. It's a straight skirt. Simple method. Okay, so I've marked the 11.75 all the way. If you use a calculator, it will tell you 11.75. But with the measurement tape, it's giving me 11.5 plus 1, 2, 3. So 0.03. I don't know how you calculate that, but that's how I calculate mine. So I just take my straight ruler and connect all the marks together. And if you are working with centimeters, if you are used to working with centimeters, that will be 29.5 centimeters. That's that's 47 divided by 4, if you're working with centimeters. So I'm just going to connect all the line. I'm using a yellow chalk so you can see what I'm doing. The fabric is black, so it can be difficult to see what I'm doing sometimes. So I'm using a yellow color chalk. So you can see I've drawn a straight line down now. So what I'm going to now do now is I'm going to add 2-inch sewing allowance all the way down. 2-inch sewing allowance. And that is all the allowance I will be adding. Remember, this skirt doesn't have a dart. It's a straight skirt fitting from the knee down, fitting at the hip as well, of course. But it has no waistband, has no zip. So I'm using rope. I'm going to be putting rope at or a string at the waist. So this is the 2 inches sewing allowance I'm just adding. Okay guys, so that's the 2 inches sewing allowance. As I say, it's a straight skirt. It doesn't require anything drastic. So what I'm going to do next, you'll probably need also the measurement from waist to knee. So I didn't tell you all the measurement you need, sorry about that. So all the measurement you need, you basically just need the person's hip, the length of the skirt, the waist to the hip, so waist here to the hip, and then from the waist again to the knee. Okay, the reason for the knee is from that knee you want to shape it a bit, so it's not just like as if it's just straight without shape. So it's like similar to the one I'm wearing. You can see got a bit of a shape on it. So you want a bit of a shape, so you take, and the length of the skirt, that's all the measurement you need. So from the waist to the knee is 18. So from here I will just shape it. So from here I come in from the allowance section. I will come in, by, let's say I come in by 1 inch. So I'm going to mark this 1 inch from the allowance section. Instead of 2 inches from there, I just give 1 inch. So I mark the 1 inch all the way down here, because I'm going to sew it. So I just take my ruler and connect it. I just want to connect all the lines together first. So that's a new allowance from the knee. So from that knee, I take my hip curve. So from the knee, I take my hip curve. If you can see the way I place my hip curve ruler, I'm going to connect it to the hip. So from there, I connect it to the hip. I don't know if you can see what I've done there. This is just to give the skirt shape. So it's not just massive on the person when they wear it, like it just no shape. So from the knee section, I just connect it. I connect it to my hip, to the allowance of the hip here. So what I'll do now is just to cut it out. Okay, so now I cut it out, and then I will take this, I open it out so you can see. Okay, so that's just basically the skirt. So on this side, I'll put the slit. I'll measure where the length, you can measure the person from the waist to where they want the slit to start from. So when you finish turning the head, which is the end, the waist section, when you finish turning it, and then all you need to do is to measure where you want the slit to start. In this case, I will start the slit from 23, which is here, so it's not too much of an opening. So I will start the slit from 23. But in most cases, the slit is on the left-hand side of the skirt, but sometimes you can put it on the right-hand side if you want. But in most cases, the slit is on the left-hand side. Okay, guys, so that's the end of the cutting. So I'm going to take this and cut the fabric, and I'll show you how I sew it. Okay, guys, I just want to show you what I've done so far. So I have stitched the lining, as you can see. I overlocked the edge. I've used the lining to turn the edge, the top. This is the waist part. I've done the same to both sides. 2 pieces, that's all you need. At the bottom here, I've also turned it with the lining. As you can see, I've turned it with the lining as well. I've ironed it. So this is what I've done so far. I just overlocked the edges, use the lining to turn both back and front. So what I'm going to do now is to put them right side to right side together. I'll take it to the machine, and then I'm going to stitch to the point where I want the slit to start, and then the other side, I just stitch the other side to the end, and then I turn the waist like so, and then I put the rope, and that's it. And I'll come and show you how it looks like when I finish. Okay, guys, so this is the end of this tutorial. This is the finished skirt, as you can see. So I've put a rope at the inside. I've turned it. It's a rope there. You just put the rope for your waist to adjust it to your waist. So this is the skirt all the way done. So just turn it to the side. So you see the side, the rope is in here. I just tuck in the rope. You can see the rope there. And this is the side with a slit on it. Remember I said I was going to put a slit at the side. So that's the slit. Pardon the background. So this is the back as well. This is the back of the skirt. And this is the other side of the skirt, the side without the slit. Okay guys, so this is the end of this tutorial. If this was helpful, please like, share, subscribe, comment. This skirt is great for beginners if you're learning how to make a simple straight pencil skirt or a simple straight skirt. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial, or you'll see me in my next tutorial. Bye.